Everybody, it's Professor Goldstein. How are you today? I hope everybody's doing good. I hope you're working on your paper, your 5-page paper. I'm going to put all the information up on the Brightspace so that you can read about it. But today I want to talk to you about the second page, really the second, maybe third page of your paper, and that really is the marketing. And marketing is such a huge part of a business, and it really has to do with a lot of different. People think of marketing in different things, but it really is broken up into many components. Marketing, and the marketing people at your company, at your business, even if you're your own marketing person, you should know the basics, like the fundamentals of business, the fundamentals of marketing, before you actually start marketing, because it's very, very important. There's a lot of, stories and anecdotes about businesses that were getting started and how important not only the product was and the idea and the development of the product, or whatever the business was, or the service was, whatever the idea of the business was, but it was also how it was marketed. And so many businesses don't consider that in their initial planning. They just consider, oh, I've got a great product or service or a business or idea for pizza or for ice cream or for soda or for a car or for a way of delivering services to somebody, fixing their home, cleaning their house, but I don't know how to market that. I'm not talking about advertising. I'm talking about actual, which comes in very close to marketing at times, and they work together hand in hand. But I'm talking about marketing, and so marketing is really what's the term used in marketing all the time is utility. You'll hear it from your marketing classes, and utility is the ability of a good or service to satisfy a human need. So whatever the product you have, how it satisfies your needs as a human being. Now, it may be a need that you don't even know that you need, but it is a service that or product that satisfies a need. And then you form the utility. The utility created by converting production inputs into a finished product, and then finally you place the utility. I'm looking at my notes. Utility created by making a product available at what location, where customers wish to purchase it. Where, in other words, there's three things: utility, forming the utility, and placing the utility. That's basically it. So again, I'll say, so let's say you're forming the utility. So it's a pair of size 11 shoes, a pair of size 11 sneakers, and where is it located? So it's located, let's say, in Seattle. The pair of sneakers is located in Seattle. It's available now, so that's the time of the utility. It's available for purchase now. How do you get that pair of size 11 Jordans from Seattle to Brooklyn? That's really what marketing is all about. How do you get the product, and where do you place the product, and how does it get there? So when you're coming up with your business, you really have to think a lot about how you're going to market the business. What supplies you need in order to meet the needs of the customers, and really customer service is really the number one thing I think in marketing. I believe in customer service. I mean, there's all sorts of things that go on in marketing, but really how you serve the customer's needs is the most important thing. And really a lot of things go into customer service. One obviously is efficiency, time, that the product is the correct product, that it's the product that they ordered, that they're satisfied with that product. Those are extraordinarily important things. But also how you treat the customer is part of marketing. How you speak to the customer, how you deal with the customer, what the customer's expectations are from you and your service. How you deal with if things go wrong. That's part of marketing. If part of customer service. In other words, if the product doesn't meet the customer's expectations, how are you going to deal with that? if the service doesn't meet the customer's expectations? What do you do? Now everyone says, "Oh, I'll just give them, it for free," but you can't keep doing that. I mean, that's not. If customers complain, you have to figure out ways of dealing with their complaints in a way that satisfies what they want and in a way that doesn't bankrupt you. So there's all sorts of things that go into the marketing of products or services in your business, the business that you're going to come up with. And you're going to need to talk a little bit about that in the beginning of your business plan that you're writing for me. So the first one was the aha moment. The second one was what the business is. The third one is how you're going to market your business. And really the third part, the marketing, is as important as what the business is, because unless you have a good marketing plan, then it really, and a good marketing concept, a marketing concept, I wrote it down, is a business philosophy that a company should use to provide goods and services that satisfies customers' needs through a coordinated set of activities that allow the firm to achieve its objectives. I know it sounds ethereal up here, but basically, let me give you an example so it's a little bit more clear to you what I'm talking about. So when Ben and Jerry, those two guys, I assume most of you have heard of them. Ben and Jerry were two guys who were living up in, and I use these stories because I think it simplifies things and makes them easier for you guys to understand. When Ben and Jerry started out, they were two guys who lived up in Burlington, Vermont, which happens to be, if you've never been to Burlington, Vermont, or you even know anything about Burlington, Vermont, it's a college town. It's where the University of Vermont is. And they had both gone to the University of Vermont as undergraduates. And so they thought, hey, what does this college town need? Now, the one thing about Burlington, Vermont that all of you should know is that it's in one of the coldest states in the United States. It's absolutely freezing, I would say, more than half of the year. It's has the biggest snowfalls in the world you can imagine. There's plenty of skiing up there. It's a beautiful city. It's right on what's called Lake Champlain, it gets the lake effect, so it gets lots of snow. And so what do these two guys decide to do? They're going to make an ice cream store, a store for ice cream. They're going to make a place where they're going to make their own ice cream. They've been experimenting, the two of them, with making different ice creams and different flavors of ice cream and different add-ons. They would add things into their ice cream. And one thing that Vermont does have is lots of cows. So there's lots of dairy farmers, and there's lots of whole milk and good fresh milk that they could use to make the ice cream. But how crazy is that? I mean, that they're making ice cream in the coldest. Now, you have to say to yourself, customer needs, right? Customer needs. We're talking about utility, right? The utility of needs. Who needs ice cream in February when it's minus 10 degrees outside and there's 3 feet of snow? Well, these two crazy guys decided to make this ice cream anyhow, and they decided that it would be different than any other ice cream, and it would be very much like a college type thing where college students would want this ice cream after they were partying all night, or they were high, or they got drunk. They would want these crazy different add-ins to their ice cream, and Ben and Jerry's came up. They were very good at marketing. They had very, very colorful, beautiful containers with very interesting, cool names that nobody had ever put on ice cream before. They were very much and they would get rid, if a flavor wasn't working, they would get rid of it, and they would have like a burial ceremony where they would get rid of the ice cream flavor. And their first store, which was kind of cool, they took an old gas station. Now you think it sounds cool. They took an old gas station and they made that their ice cream store. And I was at their first store when it first opened, and it was this old dumpy little gas station, and they cleaned it up, and they put in some ice cream, freezers, and they made the ice cream in the store, and they put the mix-ins in the ice cream in the store. They were the first ones to do this. And people would come from all over to try this ice cream because of their marketing. Their marketing was exceptional. They had a great idea in terms of the ethos of what they were very much about helping out the farmers in Vermont and providing different types of flavors that never were done before and having all these things. So there were colleges all over Vermont. I went to one of those colleges when they first started, and I had heard about it from other students at my college. They said, "Oh, you got to check out this ice cream place up in Burlington, Vermont." And I'm like, "Really?" And I was in the southern part of the state, but I drove with my friends all the way to the northern part of the state up to Burlington to go to Ben and Jerry's when it's in its first few months when it first opened, and then they did extraordinarily well, exceptionally well with the store. And I remember I said I don't think you should start a bricks and mortar store. Well, they started a bricks and mortar store, but it was very cheap. They bought this abandoned gas station that was empty, or I think they even rented it. I don't think they owned it. And they were able to kind of paint it, have students come and help them paint it and clean it up, and they were able to buy some used refrigerators, used freezers, used ice cream machines, but they had to learn how to do it, and they failed many times. They failed 100,000 times. Then they decided that they were going to start packaging it and selling it to stores, local stores in Vermont. Really, they started out in Vermont. And this is where the marketing comes in. This is where they kind of would walk into stores and say, "Hi, this is our ice cream. We would love if you carried our ice cream." Now, stores don't necessarily, this is really the placement utility, the third part, the placement utility. Stores don't necessarily take on any product that you have, even if it's a good product, even if they like the product, they're not necessarily going to take it on. There's a lot of reasons stores carry products, and it doesn't necessarily mean that the store likes what you have. It might mean that the store finds what's their biggest sellers for people. Doesn't necessarily mean if they like the product that the people are going to like the product, so they may not carry your product if it's not selling right away. If your product is not doing well in the store, they'll throw it out, or they may not even take it on. They may try to take it on briefly, but they're not going to give you a good spot in the store to put your product there. That goes to their major products, whatever it is. So if you have a new soda or a new candy or something, don't expect to have a display in the front. They're going to put you someplace way in the back where you go to die. I mean, that's what happens with products. So that's why product placement is extremely important in a store. That's why getting into a store is extremely important. And Ben & Jerry's got rejected by many businesses throughout Vermont. And what they would do is sometimes they would give the product for free to the store and say, "Listen, just try it out. Let us know. You keep everything. If it's good, if you run out, then you'll pay us. But we're going to give you the product free." Or sometimes they would stand in front of a store offering free ice cream to people, because free cups of ice cream, so that people could try it out, so that they would go into the store and buy it. So, that's a good way of marketing your product, is to offer it for free to people. And by the way, why I'm saying this is because I'd like you to put this in your business plan. If you have any ideas like this, how to market your product, how to get your product out there. A lot of times now it's social media. People market their products on social media. They market and advertise their products on social media. But it's also a subliminal way of marketing it. Sometimes they do, you'll have somebody wearing a piece of jewelry in a magazine, and it identifies where the person bought, like, Us Magazine or People Magazine or something. It identifies where the person bought the jewelry. My friend in New York City owns a big jewelry company for women, and she has all sorts of celebrities wear her jewelry. Now, it's not easy to get a celebrity to wear your jewelry. You have to pay that celebrity usually, or offer them lots of free jewelry in order to get them to do it. But mostly it's paying them, and you pay them every time their piece of jewelry is, the jewelry is seen on them. and then photographed, and you arrange for someone to photograph it and get it into a magazine or get it online or something like that, or get it into Instagram. It's very, very, very important. The more important the celebrity is, the more famous the celebrity is, the more it's going to cost to do a product placement with them, or to have a product placement in a movie. To have somebody open up a can of what is this, Dr. Pepper, Diet Dr. Pepper in a movie. That would cost Dr. Pepper maybe $2-3 million to have somebody in a big major motion picture open up a can of Dr. Pepper and go, just drink it, don't even say anything about it, and show the can in the scene, or have them wear a watch, a certain type of watch, or have them. That's all product placement. Type of clothes, the clothes that a person's wearing, the sneakers. And by the way, some product placements over the years in movies and TV shows and so on have resulted in if it's a big movie, or if someone is very excited by that product in that movie, it can lead to incredible sales for that product. When I was very young, James Bond was a huge movie series that took place, and he wore an Omega watch, which was a very nice watch for the time, but Omega was not considered like the highest end watches, at the time. It was considered a very good watch, but not the highest end. But Bond wore an Omega in a movie, and it was very obvious that he wore the Omega. You saw it all the time throughout the movie, and Omega paid for that watch to be in the movie, and Omega sales went through the roof, and especially they all wanted that watch, the watch that Bond wore. Same thing, if there's a ring or a piece of jewelry or something that a sweatshirt or a hat or something that somebody's wearing in a movie or a TV show, a placement, or an Instagram post or a TikTok post or some sort of YouTube video, of course people want to do that. If you own a restaurant and you have influencers come to your restaurant and they talk about the food, that's great marketing. I mean, that's why they try all the time to offer them free food. Most of these people will refuse the free food or say that it doesn't affect their reviews. I'm not so sure that I believe that. But cruise companies offer free cruises, hotels offer free hotel rooms to major influencers, and now they call them influencers. But really, what are they influencing? They're not just influencing your ideas about things. They're also influencing commercial products. They all have to be, they're either sponsored by somebody, or they are trying to influence you to go to places and do things, buy things. You see a major influencer talk about a product, everyone goes out and tries that product. If they talk about a service, they talk about a movie they saw, people go to that movie. So that's really all marketing. That's what we talk about with marketing. I'm not going to get too heavy into the marketing right now, but basically when you write your marketing piece of your paper, and if you don't really quite grasp it yet, maybe you'll grasp it with the next video I do for you. I want you to all kind of focus in on how you're going to get people to know about your product and how you're going to deliver that product to them. Like, in other words, what things you need in order to get the product to the individual and have it a satisfying customer experience. So I don't know what you're doing, if it's a service, if it's a product, if it's something that you've thought of, something that you're going to do for somebody, but how are you going to do it in a way that is timely, meaning that they get it when they expect to get it, like they want. You don't want to have somebody walk up to in a flea market, walk up to a table and you don't have their size, right? Okay, so let's say they come up to the table and you have 12 pairs of gloves, and you have small, extra small, medium, medium, extra large, but you don't have extra large. So someone like me comes up and there's no extra large gloves. Now, I want to buy the gloves. You don't have the gloves available. You might not even have made an extra large glove. But I'm an extra large person. I want an extra, extra large glove. How do you meet my needs? What do you do to satisfy the customer? Do you say, I'm sorry, sir, we don't have that size, and then you send me off, and that's it? You never hear from me again? Or do you come up with another idea? So I want that in the plan. I want to know if you're making pizza from your house and you make 50 pizzas a day, which a lot of people do. They like to limit the size of the amount of pizzas they make a day. And a customer comes to you and they're the 52nd person to try to buy a pizza, and they missed out on the pizza that day. Do you send them home disappointed? Maybe. What do you do to kind of make them a customer for life? I'm just kind of like thinking through these things. When you're marketing, what do you do? Do you tell them you got your number one tomorrow on my pizza list? Or tell me when you want to do it and you'll be number one that day? You want customers to feel like individuals. You want them to feel good. And there's all sorts of training programs that teach you how to treat customers good, how to market to people. The same thing with businesses. You promise a business that you're going to have something done in a certain amount of time. Like with my friend's business, his logistics business. He promises that the boxes will be delivered by 3 o'clock that day. So you're not going to make the 3 o'clock. You're stuck in traffic. Your wife is sick. The dog had to be taken to the vet. Whatever it is, you can't make that 3 o'clock deadline that day. What do you do? How do you deal with that? That's part of my planning for the business. What are you going to be doing in terms of your marketing? Where are you going to be selling it? Where is it going to be placed? How are you going to get the word out about your business? What kind of ideas do you have? Creative ideas do you have to make your business necessarily stand alone from other businesses? How are you going to satisfy the utility of the individual with your product? What are you going to do to make it special? Maybe sometimes with marketing, the fun concept is, like 2 for 1. You buy one, you get one free. Or you buy one, you get 10% discount on the other one. Or you buy one, and these are all the basic marketing things. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, Thursday, 20% off. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, regular price. So, whatever it is that you do to market. In my cigar store, we market every single day. We have all sorts of activities to market. We'll have cigar companies coming in, and they will talk about their cigars, and they'll have giveaways. And giveaways are a great way of marketing. Hats, T-shirts, keychains, whatever it is that you're giving away. But they come in, they do all kinds of raffles. They'll do buy 3 cigars, get a 4th free. They'll do 20% discount, 25% discount on a box of cigars. They'll do, give us your email. By the way, very important to get people's emails, very important to get their addresses, very important to get their contact. You want to be able to keep in touch with them. You want them following you on Instagram. You want them following you on TikTok. You want them following you on YouTube. You want them following you everywhere. You want them engaged with your business. The more engagements you have, the more you could reach out to people, the more marketing and advertising you can do for your business. So that's the basic part of marketing that I wanted to get across to you today. I hope there's some understanding of basically is how do you get your product or service to the customer in a way that makes them happy, that fulfills their needs. And how do you do that? There's all sorts of methods. And it's making sure that customer is always satisfied with what you are providing them. That's really the trick of marketing, and it's a hard trick to do. A lot of companies can lose a whole company by not succeeding in marketing. So we know the companies that are good marketers. We see them all the time. And I could give you a list of names, but who markets well? Let's say Coca-Cola markets well. we have to all kind of agree Coca-Cola is a company that's been around for almost 100 years, maybe even longer. It basically is just fizzy soda water. Fizzy water with a flavor, right? That's basically what it is. So the rest is it's a sweet drink and it tastes good, but there's other drinks that taste good. What do they have that the other companies don't have? Well, now they have the lead because they started out before the other companies. But they've always had not just the advertising, but the marketing of Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola knows how to market their products. Their products are everywhere. You see them everywhere. They always have besides Pepsi, which has come along as a competitor. But if it's not Coke, then it's Pepsi, right? It's Coke, it's Pepsi. Now, all of you may drink other drinks now. You drink Red Bull, you drink this, you drink energy drinks, you drink juices, you drink water, you don't drink. But a lot of those companies that you think, I'm drinking juice, I'm drinking water, I'm drinking an energy drink. A lot of those are owned by Coke and Pepsi. They may come in under another name, but they were bought by Coke and Coke and Pepsi now owns them. A lot of them aren't. Some of them are independent companies. Red Bull's still an independent company, but a lot of them are owned by the companies that you think you're avoiding. So you may say, I drink water every day, but take a look on your water, see who it's owned by. Sometimes it's owned by another company. Sometimes they won't even say that it's owned by another company, but you could look it up. You could look it up on Google. Coca-Cola is a monster in terms of beverages. They just don't own Coca-Cola. Pepsi is a monster in terms of beverages. They don't just own Pepsi. They have a wide variety of sodas, and then they have a wide variety of other soft drinks. So really look into how they market. Look into how everything is marketed to you. Get a feel for how things are marketed to you, because that really will help you with your paper. How do you when you go to buy clothes, besides advertising, what is it that appeals to you about certain clothes, and how is it translated to you? How do you know about this? How do you know what clothes to go buy? Is it you see friends wearing that clothes? You see your peers wearing those clothes? Is it an advertisement? Is it Instagram? Have you walked into a store and tried the clothes, and you like certain clothes that you've tried on? How is something marketed to you? How is something told that I should wear this sweatshirt? Well, this sweatshirt, does it feel good on you? Is it the cut that is good? What is it about it that appeals to you as a consumer? And how did they come up with that to make it feel good for you? How did they think about you? What thoughts did the company have in order to provide you with the service that you have? So it's very interesting how your needs are met. And one of the videos I showed you, which is an interesting video, and I hope you all watched it, which is really all about this guy who started in Staten Island, who was born in Staten Island, and his name is Mark Lowry, and he's a multi-billionaire. And his new product that he's come up with, his new service, it's two things put together. He has a product and a service. It's called Wonder. And you're going to see a lot of Wonder because it's building stores, and probably you've already gone to a Wonder, building stores throughout the Northeast right now, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, Virginia, Delaware. And these stores are, they're restaurants, sort of, but they're a new idea. They're using AI, and what they've done is they've taken, I think it's like 18, very famous restaurants, very famous chefs, and so forth. And what they do is you're able to buy the food from those restaurants in that one store, the One Wonder store, via like a tablet, like an Apple tablet, whatever. Or you could order online or through your phone, and they'll deliver the food to you, but it's like from different types of restaurants. So, one is a steak restaurant, one is a chicken restaurant, one is a salad place, one is a bakery, and you could order different things from each of those restaurants, and they prepare it within a certain amount of time and it's all for to go. It's all to go. I mean, there's some tables in the place, and people do eat there, but even there, it's like in the to go packaging that you get it. You get like a big Wonder Bag, and you order food from all these different places, so it offers you all sorts of options. Now, think about the marketing in terms of that. How does it satisfy customer needs? Well, I think it satisfies a customer need for variety, for having being able to try foods from all these different restaurants that you wouldn't necessarily go to. Having something in one place that obviously provides you with speed and ease of delivery, because really you just go to this one laptop, or a flat screen, and you're able to order these foods, and it's brought to you in one bag. So all these foods from all these different restaurants are made in this kitchen, or provided in this kitchen. It's made someplace else, and they warm it up. Pizza, they have DeFara's Pizza there, and so Wonder is a wonder of innovation in marketing and delivery of services. We'll talk a little bit more about that in the next video. I'm going to stop this now. Have a good day, and I'll post another video tomorrow, and then some videos next week. Hope everything's good with you. Bye bye.